The Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, has named Jose Peseiro as the new head coach of the Nigerian national team, the Super Eagles. The 61-year-old given the role after the NFF Executive Committee met via video conference on Wednesday. According to a statement by the NFF after the meeting, Peseiro will, however, be an observer at the Africa Cup of Nations tournament kicking off on the 9th of January in Cameroon. Austin Eguavoen will remain in charge of the team as interim manager during the championship. In quote, "It was unanimously agreed that the AFCON is a good avenue for Mr. Peseiro to launch a working relationship with Mr. Eguavoen, who will revert to his role as technical director, hence Mr. Peseiro's immediate boss, after the AFCON." End of quote. The NFF said this in its statement. The NFF had on December 12th named Eguavoen, a former captain of the Super Eagles, as technical advisor of the national team, albeit on an interim basis. The development followed the removal of Gernot Rohr as coach of the team. Peseiro, who will effectively take charge of the team after the AFCON, was born 4th of April 1960. He played the game between 1979 and 1994 before becoming manager. Beginning 1992, he coached several clubs in his native Portugal, including Sporting CP, which he took to the 2005 UEFA Cup final, and Porto. The Portuguese has had a 29-year coaching career which started at União Santarém in Portugal. He also coached Al Ahly of Egypt in 2015 and managed the national teams of Saudi Arabia and Venezuela at different times. Now, what are your thoughts of NFF decision to hire a new head coach? What do you think about the timing? Why another foreign coach? Is a Nigerian coach not competent enough for the Super Eagles? These issues will be the focus on the program Nigeria Today. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the program. With me in the studio to discuss the choice of Jose Peseiro as the new head coach for the Super Eagles is a sports analyst, Dr. Mike Enahoro. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. Compliments of the season.
I wish you same.
We also hope to join via Zoom from Abeokuta, a football veteran, Segun Odegbami, later in the program. So let me just begin with Dr. Mike Enahoro. Could you share your thoughts with us on the appointment of Jose Peseiro as a new head coach of the Super Eagles?
Well, the appointment of Jose as Nigeria's manager is it happened too fast for me. What was the term of reference? We have had Gernot Rohr, the longest-serving coach Nigeria has had, over 5 years, and he just went away. There was no summary of what we were looking for, the kind of coach that we wanted to hire, what is happening to our football development, and how this is going to work, and all of this. So it will be very difficult to place what the term of reference this gentleman was hired on, and that term of reference widely publicized, because I know there are a lot of other managers who would have met Nigeria's requirements to come and hire, to come and work with the Super Eagles. So what were the terms of reference on which this man was hired? Is he going to be another foreign-based coach where he would leave and spend most of his time in Europe and only come in here 3 or 4 days before a home game and then walk away? What's his impact on Gernot Rohr was very, very, very negative towards the local league. The local professional football league, it was very negative towards them. It did not promote the league. Is this another coach that would just come in here and begin to invite everyone that plays abroad and without supporting coaches here? So the term of reference is really surprising for me, that within the short time Gernot Rohr was fired and Austin was appointed, then we now have an overlap of a new manager. So what would it, I mean, so for me, there's a lot of, there are more questions than answers.
Now, that leads me to my next question. Aside the NFF, who else or who should be involved in the choice of selecting a national coach?
Nobody. It's their business. A lot of us want to get, we want to overblow the importance of a lot of other people. No, this is the Football Federation's business, and they need to handle this. But again, their communication is very bad. Because again, you fired a coach, within 3 or 4 weeks you hired another one, and then there's an interim manager. It's a bit chaotic for me. The term of reference should have at least, since Austin was going to hold it in place, I would have thought that they would have let Austin take it all the way through to the World Cup qualifiers and leave the man in peace. And then after that, take your time, go out internationally and find us the right. So what is the rush to have a manager done right now? Because if he's not going to take us to AFCON and he's only going to be an observer, what was the rush?
That's the point there. Now, do you sincerely feel that what we need at this point in Nigerian football is a foreign coach? And would you have preferred a Nigerian head coach?
I would have preferred a better coach who is going to be very sympathetic to the development of the Nigerian football, the Nigerian Professional Football League. Because again, no matter how many people we have outside the country playing football, we have more footballers here. We have more footballers playing here, and they should all be able to be invited to the national team to try and play. Because every time you take 30 people from foreign countries, you have just told 800,000 people who play in the local leagues of all that they're not good enough to play in the national team, and that's not true. And because we have not done it well enough, whereby whoever the manager is must have the capacity to promote the local league, and so that we can get local players, so that more sponsors can go into the league, more sponsors can put their money in the league when they can see people that can be role models and very good players. So why would we demarket our professional league by warehousing our national team to everyone who plays abroad? Now we've got a fourth goalkeeper as a token, and you want to tell me that there is no footballer living in Nigeria who can be good enough to play for the national team? And I think Austin, Seyi Akinwumi, Shehu Diko, and even Amaju will tell me that's not true. So why aren't they given the opportunity to be named to go to AFCON? And that's something for me that I think is also needs to be properly addressed, because it is demarketing the professional league, because a lot of sponsors will not be able to put money if local footballers are not making it to the national team. Okay.
Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What are your expectations, anyway, from his antecedents or his history in football, in his career? Yes. What are your expectations from the new head coach? What do you expect him to do first when he finally takes over?
It will be difficult to preempt what the NFF gave him as a term of reference, because we don't know. His job description and his job deliverables have not been shared with the Nigerian public. So if we don't know why they hired him and what he's supposed to do, then every other thing else we're saying is guesswork. So I would like the NFF to quickly release that Mr. Jose is going to be asked to do A, B, C, D, and it's only then we can say, look, are your priorities correct or wrong? Because all I just want to see is that this person must live in Nigeria. If they can, let him live in Nigeria, give him all the tools for him to live in Nigeria, so that he will watch the local league and impact on local. He can organize seminars, he can organize trainings, he can organize discussions. He will see better players, and he will be able to pick players from our professional leagues. They must make him live here. Gennett Rohr it was a mistake not letting him live here, because and all the players coming to play for us, they're totally disconnected from what the Nigerian feeling is, because we are wholesaling our team to people who are diasporans.
Okay, now let me throw it to you now.
Yes.
If you were at the NFF and you were influential at the NFF, what would be your terms of reference to the new head coach?
I want to have. I will take a caveat on your statement. The NFF has very competent people, experienced people from Dr. Sanusi to Austin to Demola and the rest of the people who work there. They are all very credible people. And one of the things I would hope that they would include in the term of reference that they give this gentleman is, one, he has to be local. He has to spend about 80% of his time here. So that, and two, there has to be a clause on our development, our football development, where he would be a manager and talk to all managers in Nigeria and watch Nigerian local leagues and be part of that whole engagement, and even invite the coaches to come to training camp with him and put them on the team and have them discuss and improve and develop our local football. So yes, I'm looking forward to that aspect of being part of his terms of reference, and he should insist that a lot more professionals from the local leagues be introduced into the national team, so that there's a balance that it helps us play Nigerian sometimes, because sometimes we play too much Premier League type. There's too much insurance involved, there's too much player protection involved. We need some guys who are going to go into the field and play like Nigerians. This is blood, sweat and tears for me. It's not just another international match. It's blood, sweat and tears, because 100 million people back home, I really don't want us to lose to this team. And when you get players in there, it changes the mechanics and the dynamics of the team. So we need to start putting a lot of our boys in there, and it gives a competition to the guys who are coming from abroad as well. Because if the local guy is doing very well, hey, you have to earn, yes, you have to earn your spot on the team.
Definitely. That's true. Well, let's take a break now. Don't go away. We still have more to talk about on the program. Stay with us.
This is NTA News 24 broadcasting from Abuja. You can watch us anywhere, anytime on the following platforms. For more information, log on to our website www.nta.ng or join us on our social media handles, Facebook at NTA News 24.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@nta.gov.ng or call us on the following numbers.
NTA News 24,
news and more news.
Welcome back. The program is Nigeria Today, and we are discussing the issues surrounding the new head coach for the Super Eagles. Still with me here in the studio is Dr. Mike Enahoro, a sports analyst, and we're also hoping to still join football veteran Segun Odegbami from Abeokuta. So let me still go back to Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
In the history of Nigeria football, we've had both local and foreign coaches at different times. How would you assess their performances? Is it really about foreign or local coaches, or about who is capable for the job?
I think your assessment is accurate. I don't see any of them as being local or foreign. For me, it's a guy who's come to do a job, and he was hired based on the term of reference he was given, and he was the best person for the job at the time he applied. But was he the best person for the team as at that time? So again, the decision of who coaches Nigeria is left in the hands of the Nigerian Football Federation, and the term of reference they set when they go out internationally to source for coaches. I don't think there's any natural discrimination to a Nigerian-born coach, because we've had Sunday Olise, we've had Stephen Keshi, and they've done well. Every time, Samson Siasia, they've done well. They've qualified us for international competition. Augustine Eguavon. So we've had Nigerian coaches, and so that is not the issue. The issue is the client. What and who is he looking for, and what kind of person does he believe that is the best fit for the Nigerian national team? And that is the question. So you might find out that if you are talking about discrimination, then they shouldn't have appointed Austin, because the team was not doing anything. They could have hired Jose and brought Jose in, but Austin is capable. Austin has successfully performed. So yes, and he's available to the team. So you have to put him there. The question is, bringing this man in right now, what's the rush if he's not going to take immediate appointment of the job? They could have used this opportunity to scout for even a different choice. I want to be very, very humane to my friends.
Now,
they could have gotten a different choice.
Okay, now let's talk about Jose Peseiro.
Yes.
His career, his antecedents,
Yes.
spanning his life career. Of course, he's played the game. Now, how would you assess him as a coach for Nigeria?
The only time I had an impression of the gentleman was when Al Ali sacked him in 2015. And the fans were just not happy at all. And I have some Venezuelan friends, and they were making jokes on international platforms today, saying, Nigeria, thank you for taking him over from us. Look, I don't know the man, and I don't really understand exactly why he seems to be the best fit for the Super Eagles. I guess the NFF will release a much detailed statement later that needs to tell us exactly of all the people they saw, of all the people that was in their pay bracket. This was the best. And so they need to tell us how he's a fit for the Super Eagles. What style does he play? Is he somebody that the dressing room will respect? Are we going to have another language barrier again, that we have a coach that doesn't speak English? Again, so these are all the type of things that I am sure the smart people at the NFF would have taken into consideration before selecting him. So I guess that's where we are, especially Mr. Amaju.
Okay. Now, what do you expect from the Super Eagles in AFCON, and what do you feel Austin Eguavoen must do if we must come out flying high at AFCON?
We can't pin this on Austin. Every country has 2 years to prepare for the next AFCON, so we can't pin this on him whether the Eagles succeed or not. I think we're going to have my personal opinion is the team is not ready. Austin is going to do well with being a boss in the room. He's a take charge kind of guy. He's very quiet. Cerezo will take charge of that room, and he will organize everybody and make sure that they get everybody going. That will happen. Okay. Is that going to help us get as far as we can? I am hoping, and my patriotic heart is hoping, that we get into the top 4, into the final 4. And if we can get into the final 4, anything can happen. That's much true as my desire and my Nigerianness can take me. Semifinals.
It's okay. Now, thank goodness we have established contact with Segun Odegbami, football veteran, joining us via Zoom from Abeokuta. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. I apologize for creating so much confusion.
How are you, sir?
I am good. I'm having a ball in Abeokuta.
Compliments of the season to you, and it's nice to see you. You look even younger than myself.
No, I don't feel that young anymore.
Anyway,
but I'm fine.
Okay, now let's go over to you with our first question. Now, what we actually asked Dr. Enaure about this question earlier. What do you feel about the appointment of Jose Peseiro as the new head coach of the national team? What are your thoughts?
Who is that? Is that the name of a person?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't know the name. When you mention the name of a coach and you have to go and start to Google search, in the world that we are in now, it means that something is not right. However, I've said it over and over again that in my own estimation, we have arrived as a country at a point where we do not need any foreign coach to come and handle our national team. Football is not rocket science. It does not require you to have a PhD in anything for you to be able to coach. It's a very simple game, and we have enough experience and knowledge and qualified people, even academically, who have gone through the mill of football, played it, administered it, gone to school to learn how to coach, and these are the highest levels, and they are ready. The generation of Stephen Keshi up till now, we have so many of them that qualify.
Wow.
If If failure is what they are talking about, our people have not failed before. So we cannot continue to colonize ourselves mentally. We cannot continue to enslave ourselves. We are just diminishing who we are as black people. This is not rocket science. We are bringing somebody who is less qualified than so many Nigerians. So what is the point? We might as well go and hire expatriates again to come and handle the Nigerian Football Federation itself, because they are failing. So why, if we are not getting expatriates for them, why should we get expatriates for our football players?
I knew when you come in, a lot of things.
And at the junior levels, Egmont, at the junior levels, we can entrust Nigeria to the development of Nigerian football by giving Nigerian coaches the chances to raise our developmental teams up until the Olympics, but not good enough for us to entrust them to take on the national team principally.
Okay. Now,
I'm sorry, but that is absolute buncon. It doesn't hold any water. Nigerians have taken us to the World Cup. We were not even meant to win the World Cup, even in going to the World Cup. So what's the problem? If we don't give our own an opportunity, they will not give us an opportunity to gather the experiences that they say we don't have to be able to handle our national team. We will never get there. We have to take the bull by the horn. I learned in sports that if you are not ready to fail, you cannot succeed. It is only those who take the risks, who gamble, that win. If you don't buy the lottery ticket, you can never win. If we don't give Nigerians an opportunity, so how do you ever think they will get the experiences to make them, stand up in the world and say they can win? It is only a Nigerian that can win the world.
How will you assess Nigeria in the area of grassroots sports, especially football? And how can they do better in the area of talent hunt at the grassroots? Oh, we just lost him now. Okay, Mike, can you answer that?
Well, we have to take the grassroots development out of social services, and we have to put it right smack into where it is a GDP issue. Football can make Nigeria money, a whole lot of money. We have to take the Igbo smokers out of the stadium. No offense to them, but they cannot come and do it at the stadium. The stadium is supposed to be a happy place for family gatherings. And then you have to infuse Nollywood into football. At halftime, do shows, so that every young kid who lives around that stadium, who trains around there, is dreaming of going there to play. State governments must not pay lip service to this. It's not a social service. It's not somewhere that you would throw your henchman because he did something for you during the elections to go and run sports. Sports is money. Sports is the central part of economic development. The day we make sports, like countries like Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, and now Mali and the other countries are making sports key as economic development, as a key part of economic development, that's when Nigeria will begin to see a whole lot of people getting into sports. Not just for Olympic Games, not just for medals, but we will get into sports to compete for money and win and do better, and there will be sponsorship that goes in there. Take out the social services out of it, depoliticize sports, and make it an economic issue. Okay. It's a business.
All right. Now let me still go back to Segun Odegbami, if you can hear me. Now, what are your closing remarks on this issue of Nigeria doing better, especially at the grassroots football talent, looking for talents?
Well, we have to change the architecture of our football as a whole. We have to start to domesticate talent discovery, talent development, and then talent exportation. We have to look. That's what the Minister for Sport wants to do. He wants to restructure the totality of our sports development, and football is included in it. You have to start from the grassroots, start from home, go to the primary schools, go to the secondary schools, now go to the tertiary institution level, and then the elite level, where the National Sports Commission will come into it, or the Ministry of Sports will come into it. States have to be involved. States are the ones, and local governments are the ones really who should tackle grassroots sports development. And there are Nigerians who can do it. So it is this restructuring that is needed. And unfortunately, there's so much ignorance everywhere that we don't even know what to do. But thankfully, the Minister for Sports is heading in the right direction. I hope that it works. I hope that they will revive the Nigeria National Institute for Sports, because that is the think tank for sports development in
Yes,
Nigeria.
that's the
That's the
much we
scientific
can
place
take on
where
the
we should go to
program.
get all the knowledge and information and guidance
Yes, we
for
know
our
that
sports. But we
talents
are not doing
abound in
all of that.
Nigeria, and of course, Nigerians are known all over the world that we have good footballers coming from Nigeria, and we know that it can only get better, moving in the right direction. That's it on tonight's edition of Nigeria Today. Dr. Mike Enahoro, a sports analyst, and Segun Odegbami, a football veteran. We thank you, appreciate your insights. Happy New Year in advance. We also thank you, our viewer, for always being there. Don't forget, you can also watch this and other editions of the program on www.youtube.com/NTNews24hub. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening and Happy New Year in advance.
For comments, suggestions and inquiries, send an email to news24@